I literally have, when I say receipts, I have receipts, okay? The way I found out is the first teacher, her husband actually saw text messages between my ex-husband, well, my husband at the time, and his wife. He found text messages, sexting messages where there were naked pictures being shared and all kind of sexual talk going on and things like that. And I told him, I said, so were you messing around with this teacher? He broke down again and said that it happened one time in the back of the teacher's car. Part 3. Don't you know this teacher told me that affair had been going on for 11 months? 11 months.
Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host, Raheem, and today we got some more TikTok content. Storytime Part 1. How I found out my husband was cheating on me with 2 different teachers at our school. Lord have mercy. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get into it.
Y'all asked for a story time, so I'm going to give you a story time, even though I don't like people all in my business like that. But anyway, story time on how I found out my husband had been cheating on me with 2 teachers at our school. And yes, I said our school because I taught there too. He was a teacher at the time, and the other 2 teachers taught there as well. So we all in this school, and I found out he was cheating on me. Okay, so boom. I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to just start here. Let me give you a little context first, okay? Yes, there were signs that I should not have married this man from the very beginning, okay? When we got married, our daughter was already 2 years old. I had called up the marriage a couple of times before we even went through with it. But I just considered it me not really understanding relationship dynamics. The 2 of us, we both were trying to break what we considered generational curses. Neither one of us grew up with our father in the home. So we were really trying to really push through. And plus, I didn't know what is a normal, marital conflict. And are you just supposed to push through this? Maybe it'll get better. So anyway, there were a lot of signs of insecurity from the very beginning. So anyway, fast forward, we're working together. I would say not even 6 months after we got married, I had a scholarship that required me to, I had already deferred it, but I had to go ahead and pursue it if I was going to keep it, and it paid for my doctoral program. And I was not about to allow the time to lapse on this opportunity that I felt was a blessing from God to even have a scholarship that would pay my full way. So anyway, I started school in a doctoral program 6 months after we got married. That was very taxing. I get it. It took up a lot of time. Mind you, we're new parents, full-time teachers. I teach a major content area. At the time, I was teaching English. So working full-time, in school full-time, and trying to manage being a wife. And it was a lot, okay? So anyway, I guess he felt neglected. That was his excuse. He felt neglected. But anyway, part of his neglect was because of all the arguing and the turmoil he was causing in the house. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep going back to the story. So at the school, it was literally like I was getting accused every day. I couldn't talk to any male coworkers. Mind you, I'm a new teacher mentor, and we had new male teachers who would enter the school that I had to interact with. He accused me of knowing that they wanted me. If they looked in my direction, he would question me on our lunch break when he would get in my car and go with me. He would accuse me or ask me why they're looking in my direction. And I mean, just throwing hissy fits. We're going back and forth, me trying to defend myself and all this and the other. I even confided, mind you, I've been working with these people for years, okay? For years. And so never in a million years that it ever dawned on me or even compute that he could be cheating with someone at our school. We worked together, so I always saw him. We came to the house after we worked, so we went to the same place of employment, and then, after we dropped our daughter off, go to work, after work, come home. It was like the same routine. So all the accusations, while they pointed at he must be doing something, I'm like, well, what can he be doing? Because there's never any time. Okay. But apparently there always is time. So anyway, the way I found out is the first teacher, her husband actually saw text messages between my ex-husband, well, my husband at the time, and his wife. He found text messages, sexting messages where there were naked pictures being shared and all kind of sexual talk going on and things like that. Now, the reason why her husband was so upset is because he knew my husband because they went to college together, okay? They went to college together. He saw these text messages, so he felt like the man violated bro code, like on some ego type stuff. But I understood, and he was basically telling my husband, look, if you don't tell your wife about what's going on, I'm going to tell her. Okay. And being the coward that my husband is, he wasn't going to come to me on his own terms, but he did come to me because he didn't want to get his ass whooped by the dude. So anyway, he came to me one day and he was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm thinking it's some type of crazy shit again. And so, I was like, okay, what is it? And he was like, listen, I need to tell you something. And then he started breaking down crying, but I don't want you to leave me and all of this stuff right here. And I'm like, what is it? And so he finally comes out and he's like, look, I got to tell you, before I say this, it wasn't anything physical. It was just text messages back and forth. There was some sexting involved. And I was like, with who? And then he calls the teacher's name. And I'm like, what? I'm completely baffled. Because I'm like, what? I had no idea. Now, this is a teacher who, if I'm sending out, emails in the school for different announcements of things that are going on, she's replying back, you rock and all this stuff right here, speaking to me in the hallway, going out her way to come by my class each morning to speak to me. Mind you, you ain't have to do all of that. You doing all of this behind my back with my husband, and you like violation. You know what I'm saying? Violation. So anyway, I find this out, it was like toward the end of the school year. Actually, it was the end of the school year. So I find this out and I immediately, like, after a day or so, I'm thinking like, hell no, I got to go back to school. We're going to have to see each other. I don't even know how I'm going to react yet. I ain't even fully processed all this information. But the first thing I'm doing is trying to secure the bag. So I let my boss know, the principal of the school. I'm like, hey, listen, this happened between my husband and this person at the school. I want to just let you know because I'm not trying to be interact with this person when we get back. I just want to let you know, because don't put us on any teams, any projects, or any group things or co-teaching type of opportunities. I don't want to really do that because I don't even know how I'm going to react emotionally to this because I haven't even had time to process it. Now, what was crazy is what my principal did after I told him that. Okay, like I said, my principal was moving kind of weird. So anyway, come to find out, he actually contacted this woman, okay? The teacher, I never asked him to do that. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you contacting her like you my daddy or something? So anyway, he contacts her. I guess he's chastising her like you know better and you need to reach out to her and this, that, and the other. So I get a text message. Mind you, I'm in a conference in Vegas. And yes, at the time, my husband at the time was with me because I had previously already booked this trip to Vegas for myself, was paid for by the school, but then I had paid for my husband to come with me and stuff like that because of, insecurities and stuff. So anyway, he was there with me. So the woman ends up texting me and she's like, yeah, so I guess you talked to the boss or whatnot, and you can give me a call if you can contact me or something like that. And I'm like, bitch, no, you can reach out to me if there's something that you need to discuss. So I would say fast forward, it was a few hours later. It was around dinner time. We were out at dinner, having a little bite to eat or whatnot. She calls and she's telling me, basically what had happened and how, what type of content that my ex-husband would text her about how beautiful she was, and she was like, and I would tell him, you are too, and this, that, and the other. So I'm like, I'm just listening. I was like, I had no idea. Because I think she even asked me that. Yeah, he said that you were neglecting him and that was the reason. Or he said you were messing around with this person or that person, basically shooting her lies. The same accusations he was coming to me with, he was telling her, and apparently the other teacher too, that these things were actual truths, okay? So, and she was like, yeah, but, I I didn't know and I felt bad, and I was going through a similar situation with my husband. I'm running out of time. But anyway, she says all of that, and then I let her know, how I felt about it. I was like, no, I'm devastated, because I really was. I had no idea that this was going on behind my back. And I felt betrayed like triple time, because I felt betrayed by my husband. I felt betrayed by the women. And then most importantly, I felt betrayed by the people at my school that I felt like I was close with, that I had confided in, and nobody said anything. Like, I know people knew. So that's how I found out about the first woman. I will create a part 2 so I can let you know about the other lady. That's all I got for now. Okay, y'all asked for it. I can't believe y'all watched all of part 1. But because y'all did and y'all asking for part 2, I'm going to go ahead and give you part 2. So here's part 2 of how I found out my husband was cheating with 2 different teachers at our school. And I say our school because I taught there too. Now, for those of you who didn't see the first part, if you want to take a look at it, get yourself caught up, you can click on this comment down here somewhere and it'll take you back to the first part if you choose, okay? That's that. I'm going to pick up where we left off, but I'm going to give a quick synopsis for those who are new here to this story. So basically, I found out about the first teacher, and not the first teacher in sequential order, but the first teacher that I found out about was because her husband happened to find sexting messages between her and my ex-husband at the time. And because he knew my husband from college, he told him, look, if you don't tell your wife, I'm going to tell her. So my husband came and confided in me about what happened. I found out, I told the principal, basically, look, I'm not trying to work with this teacher in the following year for any reason, in any type of environment. I just don't feel comfortable because I don't even know how I'm going to feel emotionally. Without my knowledge, my principal at the time contacted that teacher and basically kind of chastised her, I guess. Because the way she approached me was like, oh, I see you reached out to the principal. And yeah, and so we ended up having a conversation. I told her that I had no idea that this was going on. She then started telling me the contents of their messages and the lies, basically, that my now ex-husband, but husband at the time, was telling her. Okay, so after the conversation with the lady on the phone, the teacher, the first teacher that I found out about, obviously I found out a lot of things that my husband did not disclose when he was so-called confiding in me. And because of that, I was distraught. I wanted to get out of the restaurant. I just wanted to go back to the room. I really didn't even want to see or talk to my husband at all. He's following behind me, trying to engage and figure out what we discussed in the conversation, just so he can kind of piece together and figure out, I guess, his next lie. But anyway, we get back to the hotel room. We're not really talking, except he tells me something crazy like, oh, well, I mean, this type of stuff happens. Basically minimizing the shit that he had done. This type of stuff happens. You just got to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go back to work. The audacity. The audacity to tell me this type of stuff happens. Yes, extramarital affairs happen all the time. Okay? Cheating, unfortunately, happens. But for a man who is literally raising hell in a person's life daily, accusing them of cheating with somebody else, when it's him the whole time, he's basically projecting all of his shit onto me, causing me to walk around on eggshells where my damn nervous system is all out of whack. It's the audacity for me. I was livid, to say the least, okay? The following day, though, I was not expecting what happened. So apparently, after the conversation that I had, some things were transpiring in the background where the teacher that I spoke with, the first teacher that I found out about, she obviously reached out to someone who then ended up reaching out to my husband at the time the following day about harassment claims, okay? And if you know, you know, okay? So the harassment claims, he gets a call the next day, and I find out because I'm in between sessions for this conference, and I come back to the room, and I hear him on the phone with his mom, Don't even get me started on that. But I hear him on the phone with his mom, and he's basically telling her, yeah, she did that on purpose. She contacted the principal on purpose. Like, no, I was trying to protect my bag, my peace, making sure that I'm not going to spaz out on this person if I happen to see them because I got so much stuff going on. So it had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with me and my place of employment and just making sure my boss knows what's going on, so that we can move accordingly. So anyway, that happened. So the conference ends up ending and we get back in town, and my husband has to go now deal with these claims of harassment at the job. And I have no idea exactly what's going on because he's not telling me anything. He's not really disclosing what's going on. I'm then, trying to reach out to my principal because of course, this was not my intention by telling him. I literally told him for the security and the sanctity of myself and my peace of mind moving forward in the next school year, because I did not know how I was going to feel when I first saw this person and had to interact with this person for professional development and things like that. I just didn't want anything to do with it. So fast forward, okay? The harassment claims or whatnot, he had to go deal with that. Apparently, he had receipts to show that it was going both ways, so it couldn't be harassment, and that was that. Fast forward, we get back to the school year has begun. This teacher is not there. She has decided to move locations, okay? I don't know where she went. That's not my concern. I just know that she wasn't there. Let's move forward to the second teacher, okay, and how I found out about her. Fast forward, we're in the next school year. The teacher's not there. All is well as far as me not having to deal with that person. But of course, I've been compartmentalizing everything. I haven't dealt with my emotions. I've been suppressing everything. Totally unhealthy. I should have been on somebody's couch, okay? Yeah, I finished my coursework. I have a slew of emotions that I'm experiencing. Excitement on one end is the best of times and the worst of times all at the same time. Like, what am I going to do about this? Because on the surface, she, the first teacher that I found out about, she also claimed that there was no physical stuff going on. So what do? Moving on to teacher 2. I get a random text message. And this is how I know that people at the job knew, okay? Whether they knew about the first teacher that I found out about, who happened to be the second teacher that he was cheating with, doesn't make a difference. They knew about the first one, which is the one that really sent me over the edge, okay? I found out about the first teacher because someone caught wind of, I guess, the harassment claims and whatever, and they reached out to me via text message. Now, I didn't have this person's number, and they obviously were using some type of, some type of app or software where you can kind of text someone anonymously. So they were reaching out to me and they were like, yeah, I kind of heard what was going on, and that's kind of messed up. And I have all of the receipts. I literally screenshotted all of this stuff. I saved it to my Google Drive. I literally have, when I say receipts, I have receipts, okay? Lots of them. So anyway, this person contacts me and she's like, I don't know if it's a she. It could be a he. But they contact me and they're like, yeah, I heard he was also messing with, it was some teacher. I think she taught, and she named the subject. I'm not trying to name any names or any of that. But she named the subject. And I think the woman left like last year or something. And I was like, you know what? There was a teacher that left like abruptly last year. So what did I do? Confront my husband. My apologies. I have 2 new babies and yeah, it's been a day. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. And I'm running out of time again. So I'm going to go ahead and post part 3 at the same time so you can kind of go look at that other one too, okay? About the text messages. like I said, this person knew all the scoop that was going on in the school. So I confronted my husband and I basically asked him, I let him know, look, I'm asking you this because I obviously know something happened. So I just need you to tell me the truth. And I told him, I said, so were you messing around with this teacher? He broke down again and said that it happened one time in the back of the teacher's car. Part 3. I'm so sorry. I didn't try to extend it, but part 3. I'm going to tell you the whole thing. Okay, so here's part 3 of this series that I didn't even know I was going to start. Part 3, how I found out that my husband was cheating with 2 different teachers at our school. And I say our school because I taught there too at the time. And mind you, this is not my typical content. I don't even like sharing my personal business like this. I'm a very private person, but I saw the first teacher the other day at a school event for my kids, and it just brought back all of these memories, and that's kind of how we are here. Okay, so I found out about the second teacher because an anonymous person reached out to me, okay, via text message, via some app text message, because I tried to contact this person back. And they told me after they started sharing information with me at first, they were like, I didn't know if I could trust you yet. But bottom line, they said, yeah, I heard that, he was messing around with some other teacher. She named the subject. And I decided I was going to confront my husband because, yeah, all the information she was given, it was tea. And again, I don't know the gender of this person. It could be a male. It could be a female. I don't really know, still to this day. But I have all the screenshots. I have all the receipts, okay? But anyway, so I confront my husband and I'm like, listen, I'm coming to you about this because I already have some information. I need you to tell me the truth. So I'm like, did you mess with this teacher? And I'm not talking about sexting, okay? Did you, mess with this teacher? And he told me basically after he broke down again. And mind you, he broke down and he then started talking about his childhood and how, things happened to him and all this stuff. Basically trying to gain pity for me while he's also telling me about some devastating information that I had no idea about. Again, going back to all the trauma of being hypervigilant due to all of the daily accusations I was getting. Yeah. So anyway, he tells me that, right? That it happened one time in the back of this teacher's car. Now, mind you, I had worked with this teacher for years. I had prayed for this teacher's child when the child was having, some health issues, called and reached out to this teacher. I mean, had known this teacher for a long time, not to mention that she and I have the same alma mater. But anyway, I digress. If you know, you know. So I have the teacher's number. So now I need to know from the teacher's mouth. So I contact the teacher, and I'm not a disrespectful person. I understand that she was likely lied to just like I was, but regardless of the fact, I needed the information. So I asked her, and I told her what I knew. And after I told her about him confessing that it happened one time in the back of her car, I'm pretty sure that hit a nerve, because for any woman to be degraded in such a way, now you're like, okay, so if he was going to be honest, then he should have told the whole truth. Don't you know this teacher told me that affair had been going on for 11 months? 11 months. They had been having an affair. And I'm like, what? And she described the locations of where it used to take place. And then, of course, I wanted to get all the deets. So I asked her, how would this happen? How would this link up? How would you, do this? mind you, I didn't tell you guys this part. While I was in my doctoral program, my husband at the time decided he wanted to start pursuing his. Now, he didn't complete his, but he started a program, okay? And he was having to go to class physically in person like once a week on Mondays. So he was staying after work because the campus that he was going to was near our job. And that was fine with me. It gave me a little breather. Plus, I was still in school at the time. So, I mean, I didn't even think anything of it, you know. And again, I never would have thought, like I told you, it did not compute that there could be someone from our job, because I felt like, and this is me just obviously totally misreading the room, okay? I felt like I had pretty close relationships with most of the people there. I had confided in people that I really looked up to, that I felt had marital experience and could give me advice. So I never even thought that that was a possibility, okay? And mind you, okay, this person that he was messing with, I had prayed for her child. I mean, it was crazy. So anyway, yeah, it had been happening for 11 months. It had been happening. It also happened at, I think, a hotel room once or twice, she said. And mind you, you know, she took ownership of it, and she said it wasn't something she was proud of. Not that that made me feel any better, but, you know, she did say that part. And she did explain that the reason why she left so abruptly is, one, she called it off after she and her fiance decided that they were about to go ahead and pursue their marriage and go ahead and proceed with the wedding. And she had to end it. And that's the reason why it ended. And so, yeah. That is how I found out about my husband cheating on me with two different teachers at the same school. Beyond devastating, hurt. I love this man. I was busy. We both were busy. We had two children. Because after we had our daughter, 2 years after we were married, we were pregnant with our son. And so the neglect question that I saw a couple of men, you know, of course, you're going to have those type of men who hop on here and be like, I just want to hear his side. And, you know, like any human being, it's not a man thing. Every man got a reason to cheat. Any human being can have a reason or justification for their actions to choose infidelity. But when you make that choice, then you also got to be willing to deal with the consequences. And unfortunately, I made the decision I needed to make, because obviously he had made the decision he wanted to make. And it wasn't even, it's not just about the cheating for me. Something about this is the fact that you chose to cheat at our place of employment, where we work, where we provide for our children. Now, it's just insane to me. It's like you didn't have enough respect to at least cheat with somebody I could never come into contact with. Like, it's sloppy. So I'm not even, it's the principle, like, of the matter. Like, it's terrible to cheat, but you don't even have enough respect for me to cheat outside of where we work. But you have the audacity to come to me and accuse me on a regular basis, every day, cheating with the boss, the assistant boss. Like, I'm not the type of woman that has to work her way up via sexual relations in order to move up, because thank the Lord, I am very well educated. It's the audacity. It's the disrespect. It's all of that extra stuff on top of the fact that you're cheating and projecting all of your negative stuff onto me. So that's the end of part 3.
So, what do you guys think about this story time? I think that your coworkers are not your friends. They are not your friends. And this is evidence of that. That man was cheating on her with 2 women that she worked with, confided in, praying for. Man, to hell with them kids. You talking about some you prayed for them kids? To hell with them kids. Man, please, imagine praying for the kids of a woman who having an affair with your man. Sisters, I know y'all in the comments here now. Ooh, wee. I mean, that's fiery right there. I know that'll get the spirit going. That's provocative. I mean, that's a crazy situation to be in. That's a wild situation to be in, and she's right. He didn't have respect. He didn't have respect enough to, take all that infidelity elsewhere. He did it in an environment where you would have to see both of them, face to face, having to interact with them all of the time. That's a crazy situation to be in. That's just a wild situation to be in. Now, as far as her saying that every man has a reason to cheat, yeah, men do have reason to cheat. If you are neglecting this man, if you are away from the man for a very long time, I'm not going to lie to you, the likelihood of him cheating and stepping out probably will go up. I mean, you're not laying in bed with the man. You're leaving him cold in the bed cold alone. You probably getting home late at night. You don't feel like doing nothing because you're tired. Yeah, that sure enough will do it. Yeah, I know that's something some sisters don't want to hear, but that sure enough will do it. Definitely. You just got to make sure you know the person that you get with and make sure you know what they want out of life so you have a lesser likelihood of being put in a situation like this. As a brother, you don't want to get with a woman that's a career woman and then she go and try to pursue a career. And now you feeling like, man, I wanted some action tonight. Now I can't get no action because what you got to do at school, what you got to do at work. No, I'm not with that. So just make sure as a brother, make sure you get with a sister that she not like that. Make sure she want to be at home. And if you end up getting with a woman like that, it's in your best interest and her best interest just to not waste each other's time and just cut your losses, But in this situation, it's even worse because they already had a child together before they got married. And that's another thing. I wanted to speak on that. So the teacher who had abruptly left a year prior, that teacher cut the affair off because she was about to go ahead and get married to her fiance. So doesn't that mean she was cheating on her fiance that whole goddamn time? Come on, it's sloppy. This is some classroom madness. This is some classroom treachery. Are you kidding me? So that means you decided to cut the affair off and you was cheating on your man. You was cheating on your man who you wasn't even married to. And does he even know? Does the fiance even know? Just left that man out there like that. Nah, man, that school is messy. That school is messy. I know I know she'd hate to have to work with that one sister who went viral recently. That went, what they call her, Teacher Bay with that what they call it, a bodycon dress I saw earlier. That's crazy. That's crazy. I know she would have hated to have to work with her knowing that the type of husband she got. But tell me what you guys think down below. Do you guys agree with me that she did a good job separating from that man, and for her own peace and for her own worth, she decided to make the decision that she feels was good for her by distinguishing herself from him? Or do you guys think she made the incorrect decision and should have stayed with the man for the sake of the family? Thank you for tuning into this Clocked Out Conversation. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.